Nightfall is descending upon Bryant-Denny Stadium on a beautiful Halloween night in Tuscaloosa, where tonight the second-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama play host to their nearest SEC rivals, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who've made the 83-mile trip east.
Adam and ran for 186 yards, and Alabama runs the football better than A&M.
Brandon Ruiz kicks off for Mississippi State. There's Trey Sanders. And he does not make the 20, stacked up at the 17-yard line.
Don't overanalyze, let go of a bad play, and he has not had many bad plays.
Fake toward Harris, dumps it off for the tight end, Miller Forrestall. Third down 9, they bring pressure, and they do that a lot. To the corner of the end zone, and Smith couldn't hang on, off his fingertips. And that time, no.
A lot of room to put that ball in the right spot, which he did. But Devontae not able to come down with it.
There's Will Reichard, who hasn't missed a kick yet this season. And that is still the case. They would confirm or deny. They would only say that he's unavailable. High snap handled by Costello. He was hit as he threw. It was almost intercepted again. Branch there. Malachi Moore.
Two tight ends all the way around. Oops, ball out.
Jones lost the ball, and Harris scooped it up and advanced it for the thing up front. Nick Saban said that would be a challenge. A lot of movement and twisting in that offensive line. Jones did well to get it off. Harris tried to break free, but could not. Got forward for his own offensive coordinator with that remarkably small piece of paper as his call sheet. It's folded up. Try to throw a little bubble, and is it a catch?
To the running back.
Plenty of time for Jones on target. Devontae Smith, first down. He's as good as there is at creating balance between the run and the pass. We're seeing that again already tonight. Raving about the way Sark uses his personnel, using Smith for a touchdown. They're having a very tough time dealing with Devontae.
And get the one-on-one. There's a corner blitz. The safety kind of gets flat-footed. That's a mismatch going against Devontae Smith. Mac Jones read it, but watch. Mac Jones doesn't have to worry about the blitz because they've got the running back and the tight end staying in the block. There's 7 blockers. He doesn't have to panic.
Will Reichard for the extra point.
Combinations to work with.
Leach said we haven't protected consistently enough. Saw Will Rogers, the backup quarterback. You may see action again. Costello almost intercepted. And it was batted down by
to create pressure again.
They rush 5. Jones behind the defense again. Devontae Smith. Nobody can cover him. They've tried a couple of different defenders to no avail. That time behind London Kraft for an Alabama touchdown.
As a receiver, watch him as a pass blocker. Picks up the blitz, just enough time for Mac Jones to get the ball delivered deep down the field to Devontae Smith. Little out and go, and there's the separation by number 6. But it was the pickup of the blitz.
Alabama who can run some deep routes and get open. Extra. He said, yeah, that would be nice. Got up to a start like that might happen, but boy, has this passing game gone south since week 1. And that pass incomplete. Intended for
leading this Alabama team to probably heights that they didn't expect to have offensively.
And getting greedy, Devontae Smith. Is he in?
He's off to that kind of night.
John Mechie banged around.
Very, very frustrated. Coaches telling them you need to be mentally tough.
No answer for Smith. Brian Robinson trying to run it in on 2nd and goal from already leading 17-0. They tried to bring pressure. Jones throws to the goal line, incomplete. Trying to get it to Miller Forrestall.
You know what
what's that?
You know
Will Reichard.
How about Will Reichard?
2 for 2 tonight, 8 for 8 for the season. 3rd down and 14. Costello running for his life, and he staggers to the 25-yard line, run down by.
Right now they're hanging on for their lives.
Mac Jones checks it down short to Devontae Smith. And he's stacked up at the 50, but he got the first down. Action at Tennessee last week, didn't have a touch. Mac Jones with a flag down to the end of the play. Interesting play call. I don't know if I hit here. Play clock at 2-1. And it is Harris. Did he get enough?
That's correct.
Here's Joquavius Marks. Bounced out of bounds by Daniel. 3rd down and 10. Not in field goal range here. Look out from behind. Rodgers taken down by Chris Allen.
Left tackle will all be in the NFL next year. It's an excellent group.
Jones given time again on the slant to Devontae Smith.
He's healthy. He is big. He's long. He's physical, and he really does set the tone.
Managed to play only 12 games in 3 years in Tallahassee due to injury. Jones diving catch.
Offense right now. Jaleel Billingsley, number 19, is the tight end of the ballgame.
From Illinois, their first football player from Illinois since the late 90s. How about that effort? One new starters, the right guard, Emil Ekiyor. Najee Harris back in. And he almost busted it. Jones dodged some trouble. Now he takes off running and slides.
Decision to run. Just outstanding feel and movement in the pocket by Mac Jones.
There's Harris. Just shy.
Offense, especially the offensive line, 11 plays and just taking time off the clock.
Not bothered by the movement of that front. There's a strike to Smith for a touchdown, his 3rd of the night.
Watch the route. Watch the fake outside. Then he comes back in, gets the separation, and perfect timing. That was great.
Does it with ease. An extra point good by Reichert.
And apparently, according to Mike Leach, he has not had a conversation with his head coach either.
That was surprising, too. To hear Mike Leach say, well, I haven't talked to him. I heard from people in the building that he wanted to start preparing for the NFL. Dylan Johnson catches a shot.
How hard do they play? How do they act to each other on the sidelines? Because that will go a long way in telling us how much buy-in there is.
And it's Errol Thompson who made the tap to a better spot for them. He said, those of us who are here are really buying in. We really like
effort. They've held Mississippi State to 38 total yards, 0 for 7 on 3rd down.
And 1 first down in the game for Mississippi State. Here's Javonte Payton bringing the kickoff back, and he's out near the Bama. First downs are 18-1. Mark's in trouble and tripped up by Will Anderson.
You do find a seam somewhere.
And those were first half stats plus, because they automatically updated for that second first down of the game. They have 1. Rodgers sent Dylan Johnson in motion. He was under pressure as he threw, and as a result, it came up a little bit short. He substitute. The officials stepped in to allow the Bulldogs a chance to substitute on defense. They bring forward Mac Jones, and he is tripped up from behind. He didn't field on 30 out of 41. Yep. On 3rd and 1, it's Will Anderson blowing up the play. Dump Joquavius Mark. And their win in Starkville against Mississippi State. Went 3-1 as the starter. The only loss at Auburn, and Jones throws an interception.
Wow. Diving
interception by Colin Duncan. For the moment, it will stand as such.
Well, he's trying to get the ball to Devontae Smith. Close together again. New combinations on some of their layer routes without Jalen Waddle.
3rd down and 13. Jones will dump off to Najee Harris, and he stopped well. He was the offensive coordinator, Kentucky, under Hal Mumme. And they set over 100 school offensive records. Of course, it helped to have Tim Couch. 3rd down and 9. Rodgers, nicely done. First down, then he dives down.
That really doesn't make any difference nowadays. So,
but not enough to overturn the call on the field. Not conclusive enough, apparently. So 3rd down and 2. We'll find out if it is 4-down territory, because 7-0 Alabama. Marks shoved out of bounds, but a nice play. His home state play for Mississippi State. Joe Moorhead was the head coach. He made that commitment. He throws to the end zone, and it's ripped away. Dylan Moses picked it off and apparently got just out of the end zone.
I don't think Dylan Moses knew where the ball was.
Intercepted.
It was caught, and then Dylan Moses just ripped it away.
Alabama.
Dylan Moses.
So the penalty brings the ball back. Now they'll try to throw it out of the end zone and throw it deep. Devontae Smith, another catch. In the air to take it away from him.
This is on an island. And Devontae Smith says, you keep coming out on this island, I'm going to make you look like Gilligan. And that's what he did again. I mean, that's just a
10 catches for 193 and 3 touchdowns. Back to Najee Harris. He's up.
Has been fixed during his time here at Alabama. I think his life is different. I don't think there's ever been a question that he can coach football. Quarter on this Mississippi State defense. But they're always set up for that play action deep ball.
Jones dumps it off for Najee Harris. Bounces off the tackle attempt of Sean Preston and picks up the 1st down. 5 receivers spread the formation. Jones, the pump fake, going for Forrestall, and a flag thrown. You wonder if he was being held. He only got and says, do you think you can play? Because they know what their pain threshold is and how effective they can be. Devontae Smith is still playing, and he has just
corner and the other safety that Mac Jones has to fit the ball in. The safety bites on the fake right in that window of Devontae Smith.
Extra point good. Play sheet. Rodgers throws it up for grabs from Malik Heath. It was well covered by Josh Jobe. Young swings it out wide, and it's dropped by Brian Robinson very well. Of course, teams will want to do their due diligence on the medical side. There's a wide open receiver for one of the very few times tonight. It's Austin Williams. Oh, that's an excellent question. We expect nothing less from an Arizona State Sun Devil.
I'll tell you, if you have not seen Zach Wilson play, you owe it to yourself to tune into that game, because he's playing lights out.
It's hard to believe that this is just the 2nd game as a head coach on his birthday. You think, like 1 out of every 7 times, right?
You couldn't have cared less.
Well, it's 34-0. It might be more than that. Sanders knocked out of bounds.
Showed a little scoot on that play,
Yes,
getting around the corner. A little different style than Robinson and Harris. There he goes again.
Sanders. Well, they do have another streak. What does that mean? Can we let America in on the joke? Maybe we can't. There's a touchdown for Trey Sanders. And that streak gets extended. And
their guys all the way, try to get him out of the end zone. Pierce quick.
2nd and goal. Give it to Sanders again. And they do, and he still can't get that elusive.
Of everything to it.
They want Sanders to get that touchdown, and he won't. Goal. Jack Arnett brings pressure. Ooh, the ball comes sliding out of the hand of Bryce Young. And it's brought back by Tyrus Wheat. And when? Is there a possibility this won't end eventually? It definitely will. Rodgers, risky throw, picked off by Patrick Surtain, and they will cross the 35-point threshold with a defensive score for Alabama. And the First interception of the year, 4th of his career for the junior from Plantation, Florida. Patrick Surtain, one of the best. You'd think he would have more interceptions, but they hardly ever throw in his direction.
They go away from him. And if Rodgers had this one back, he would have tried to put this on the outside arm of his receiver, because Surtain was on the inside secondary that I think is showing rapid improvement over the last 3 weeks. But he is the leader.
State. And Sparty beat Northwestern 29-5. So Nick Saban will go to 2-0 as a head coach on his birthday. It'll be their 95th straight win against an unranked opponent.
The only game by more than 13 points. In that same time span, Clemson has lost 3 games by more than 13. Ohio State has lost 5 games by more than that. And Oklahoma has lost 4.
Clemson in the national championship game after the 2018 season. Early January of 2019 was the last time they didn't score 35 points. I think the argument for Clemson being #1 relative to Alabama, of course, we didn't see Ohio State until last week, and they're in the conversation too. The Clemson spotlight, I mean, all that pressure with your team down 28-10.
Yep.
You throw for 342. This quarterback everybody in the country wanted.
Yeah, if he had any jitters, they came out today.
Down passes, matches his career high. He's done that 4 times now in 10 career starts. Long throw, and Cyrus Mitchell couldn't run on.
As a grad transfer, help him launch the air raid offense in the SEC. But I do think this guy gives him a little better spark. And I think he's just his mobility, if nothing else. And you mentioned
guys are still hitting.
Oh, yeah.
Witherspoon gets belted. Brian Branch still out there playing. And that's it. Anything close to that team since, they go to 1-4. For the 2